What is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. I'm your host here for Reed. In today's video, I want to talk about the slow but steady shift from the last 2 years of a brutal winter, right, into the upcoming bull market. Now, towards the end of today's video, I also want to quickly highlight 3 upcoming narratives that I think will definitely be huge when it comes to adoption within crypto for this upcoming bull market. Now, I also want to go ahead and dive into 5 tips that I'm personally going to be applying to my portfolio or my trading strategy that I also think could be a benefit to you within the growing Cardano and blockchain community. As always, if you do enjoy content like this, I'd appreciate you if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding anything that we're going to be chatting about as a part of today's video, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. So first and foremost is going to be to educate yourself in preparation of the bull run. Just this past month alone, we saw one of the biggest positive moves for Bitcoin, ranging, I believe, from a low of about $32,000 to $33,000 into fresh new highs, just breaking over into $39,000 at the beginning of December. Now, we've also seen, I believe, the longest streak of green candles within Bitcoin, which is about 7 to 8 weeks in a row of positive price action. A lot of people continue to think that we're in a bear market, which they're, of course, entitled to their own opinion. I am definitely not of that thought, given the fact that we have now been trading at over 155% since Bitcoin's lows back after the FTX crash, which took place in November of 2022. Now, when we look at just the opportunity that we have here within blockchain and crypto, seeing Bitcoin double and again, just make over 160% gains in a year completely outweighs everything that we're able to make within the traditional stock market. That's why I definitely think it's a huge opportunity here that we're going to be getting over the course of the next year to 2 years, in which we're going to continuously see price action in a positive direction. Now, again, because we've been waiting patiently for 2 years, you want to make sure to go ahead and educate yourself in order to take advantage of this opportunity. So the very first thing I want to just basically say is to make sure that you're always reading up, staying informed, and just staying up to date within whatever ecosystem or whatever investments that you have made within the blockchain space. Myself, personally, I focus a lot on Cardano. And one of the very first things that I tend to do when it comes to just interacting with the community is staying up to date. That means joining platforms, for example, like X or Twitter, joining platforms like Discord, as well as just engaging with content, for example, like on YouTube. This helps me to not only be aware of what is going on, but also adjust my portfolio and my investments as needed. For example, if you see a project that's getting a lot of hype that you maybe want to invest in, that gives you an opportunity to do so early if you're aware of what's going on, especially with different narratives, for example, like AI, which has taken off in the last year alone. Now, again, make sure to stay tuned till the end of today's video. I want to highlight 3 narratives that will be potential winners as a part of the next bull run. Now, number 2, as a part of the educating yourself subtopic, is going to be to just understand the fundamentals of blockchain and crypto. So understanding how tokenomics work, understanding different DeFi protocols, understanding infrastructure, and just understanding, what this space has to offer is going to be key. Again, during the bear market, if you had no understanding of the underlying fundamentals of blockchain, you may have just gotten tired. Again, that's the point of the bear market, to weed out some of the people that are here for the long term versus people that are here for the short term. And so again, if you had not been doing your due diligence and you had no reason as to why you wanted to invest and really uptake crypto and blockchain, you would have walked away from the space. So that's the very first piece there, just understanding the fundamentals surrounding blockchain and crypto, and then making sure to stay updated when it comes to market trends. Number 2 is going to be a pretty big one here, and this is going to be surrounding risk management. So a lot of people come into this space towards the top of the bull market, and that's when retail investors come in. The people that really make the most out of crypto and during the bull run especially, are going to be the people that are there early on. Again, that's why it's really fundamental to not only educate yourself, but to pace yourself to make it through the entire bear market. And over the last 2 years, if you've been keeping up with my channel, then you've seen the journey, from the top of the bear market all the way down, right, into the point now where we're starting to see things reverse in our favor. Now, as price continues to trend up, you're going to start to see more and more people beginning to leverage as well as to begin trading. So during the bear market, when there's no price action, right, you still get a lot of people shorting the market because that's where you're able to continuously make money, but you're not seeing a lot of people going long. As we are now starting to see, again, Bitcoin trending up for about 7 weeks in a row, we're starting to see people take out leverage positions as well as just be a little bit more free in terms of trading, hopefully to make a profit during the bull market. So when it comes to that, you always want to make sure that you're investing in multiple assets. I've always mentioned this and I will continue to mention it, that yes, Cardano is definitely, I think, going to be a winner in the upcoming bull market, but I don't think that you should have 100% of your assets in one particular token or just ADA alone. Now that could definitely be split up multiple different ways. You're more than welcome to invest in Cardano native tokens or assets built on top of Cardano, but you're also able to invest in other big caps, for example, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which while you may not be able to make as much upside, there's going to be a little bit more safety in those assets because you're not going to get those big pumps or those big dumps. So it's a little bit of a hedge there. Again, not saying not to hold ADA, but make sure that your risk to reward allocation or the amount of investment that you have directly in ADA is something that you're able to tolerate. Of course, if ADA goes up in the right direction, that's a great opportunity. But over the last 2 years, we've seen the price of ADA fall all the way from $3 all the way down to about 24 cents or 23 cents, at its very lows. So that is the second portion there, to set clear investment goals, but then to also take your time and diversify and make sure that your allocations within your portfolio match what you're comfortable with. Number 3, this is going to be a big piece here, is going to be to utilize secure wallets. Over the course of the last couple of months, if not years, we've continued to see different wallets get taken advantage of. And this is going to be your safe haven, basically, right, during the bull market. If somebody's able to get access to your seed phrase or your wallet, all of your hard work, all of your investments, and just all of your assets could definitely be taken from you in a couple of minutes. Now, I recently released a video about the fact that there's been more AI scams targeting the blockchain and crypto space. And that's just one avenue that these people are taking advantage of crypto investors in. We've also seen Discord hacks, and there's just been a lot of phishing attacks, different emails coming out. And so these are things that are going to continue to happen, especially even more as the bull market and the price of Bitcoin and Cardano, as well as just blockchain assets, rise. So this is important here. If you don't already own a hardware wallet, you definitely want to make sure to go ahead and get one. And what that's basically going to do is allow for you to store your signing keys associated with your wallet offline. So as opposed to a hot wallet where you're able to have that connected all the time. And yes, it's great for quick ease of use. It's not necessarily great to hold tons of funds because, again, it is connected to the internet. And if somebody were to overtake your computer, or if you're able to interact with something that is malicious, that could actually be taken away from you. So that is one thing there. That's going to be the utilization of hardware wallets. But then if you also have the ability, go ahead and set up or enable two-factor authentication wherever you can. For example, if you have an account on Coinbase or an account on Binance, you want to make sure to go ahead and set up as much security in order to make sure that any funds that you may have on a centralized exchange cannot be taken advantage of. Jumping into my fourth point, I want to talk about the importance of doing your due diligence and just researching potential projects. So when it comes to this, you want to make sure to go ahead and analyze potential projects before investing. During the bull market, there's almost little to no time because of how quickly the market moves and how much chatter there is in the space to spend the quality time to actually do your due diligence or to research different projects. So I would urge you to do that right now, especially as the Bitcoin halving nears and as we begin to see more and more people pouring into the crypto space. So if you've got time on the weekends or early mornings or even before you go to bed, jump onto different platforms that you're interested in, read their white papers, again, jump into their Discord, listen to X Twitter Spaces, just do as much as you can in order to be aware or to familiarize with yourself with the project before you begin to invest in it. Now, on top of that, you want to go ahead and evaluate the teams, the different use cases that the project can be used for, as well as their roadmap to see exactly where they stand. Moving into my final point here surrounding preparations for the bull market is going to be to have an exit strategy. So again, speaking from experience, when I came into the space, I was only thinking of the upside, not necessarily the downside. And at the time that I came in, it was a time where there was just so much noise that it was really difficult to focus on the downside as well as an exit strategy. At that time, people were talking about Bitcoin going to 100K, 200K, and that it just seemed like the prices would never go down. Unfortunately, the prices do come down, and the people that are hurt the most are the ones without an exit strategy. So what you need to do is go ahead and make sure that you have a plan in order of time or potential price that you use as a signal to exit the market. So again, right now, given the fact that we are so low compared to all-time highs, this is still a great time to jump into the space. But as we begin to get to those all-time highs or get to valuations of what the last bull market had given us, that's when you're going to want to go ahead and begin to either scale out or close positions entirely in order to capitalize on this opportunity. It makes no sense to ride this entire wave all the way up, only to ride it back down straight into the next bear market, which could potentially be lasting another 2 to 3 years. Again, that's going to be my very last point there when it comes to preparing for this bull market. So number one, educate yourself. Number two, make sure to have a risk management plan in place. Number three, make sure to utilize secure wallets. Number four, make sure to go ahead and research projects. And then number five, make sure to go ahead and have an exit strategy. Now, moving forward, I do plan on releasing more content surrounding my personal investment strategy and exactly what I plan to do in order to maximize this upcoming bull run. Now, I promised earlier that I did want to talk about 3 potential narratives that I see being very big in the upcoming bull run. So let's go ahead and jump right on into that. The first, I think, is going to be GameFi and metaverse. If you guys recall, back in 2021, Facebook had changed their name from Facebook over into Meta. And that's when we saw a huge investment or a huge amount of traffic jumping into the metaverse space. We had platforms, for example, like Sandbox, Gala Games, Decentraland. They were all getting a lot of attention, not only from the average crypto investors, but also from big brand names, for example, like Nike, Google, Adidas, and many more, right? So even up until now, we're still getting big platforms investing into games like the Sandbox. So I think it's just a matter of time before we begin to see more people jumping back into the metaverse theme or the metaverse niche. Now, I want to take a quick second to just shout out a project that's homegrown here that I definitely think could have a lot of value in this upcoming bull run, and that's going to be Cornucopias. If you're not familiar with this platform, it's going to be an MMORPG being built as a AAA game on Unreal Engine 5. I covered this here quite a bit on my channel, and I want to go ahead and just kind of bring that to your guys' attention when it comes to this potential niche within the Cardano community. So that's going to be the first one there. Number two is going to be AI. If you guys missed this, we saw ChatGPT dropping about a year ago. And then we've also seen platforms like Midjourney getting a lot of attention. Now, what we're also seeing are going to be crypto protocols dealing with AI also getting a lot of love. So for example, if you take a look at the NewNet platform or Singularity Net, they're going to be focusing solely on AI driven protocols. And so that was actually one of the first coins or one of the first tokens that I think had done a 3, 4, potentially a 5x once the AI narrative had kind of been unlocked. Now, since then, of course, the prices have kind of returned back to their normal averages, but we're going to start to see another uptick, I personally believe, as we go into the bull market for 2025. Now, within Cardano specifically, I've already mentioned Singularity Net. They're going to be an entire ecosystem with a bunch of other spin-off projects, all dealing with AI and language learning models. So one to definitely keep an eye on when it comes to this next bull market. Last but not least, I want to talk about real world assets, or the tokenization of RWAs. So if you guys are not aware, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding this as well. During the Cardano summit in Dubai, we saw NMaker partnering up with a platform called Timons, and they were actually able to mint on-chain 20 NFTs representing real-life diamonds, which were locked up, I believe, in some part of Europe. Now, that said, if you own the actual NFT, that gives you the physical rights to go ahead and actually take or have ownership of that particular diamond. Now, this is just one example of real world assets being tokenized on the blockchain, but you can imagine, having titles for cars, things, for example, like your house, and just any other real world asset being transferred or tokenized into the blockchain. Now, one particular protocol that we've got here within the Cardano ecosystem taking the lead with RWAs is going to be the Twin protocol. Now, Twin is aiming to tokenize gold, right? Utilizing NFTs and just Cardano technology. And then moving forward, they plan on also tokenizing other assets, for example, like silver and palladium. So this, I think, is going to be the third potential narrative that we see really get a lot of adoption in the upcoming bull market. Now, I will be breaking down each of these narratives in future videos, but I wanted to just get this information out there for you guys in order to, again, prepare you for this upcoming bull run. As always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, or you just found any portion of it to be helpful or insightful, I would really appreciate you if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding Cardano or any of the narratives or projects that I've talked about, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.